You ready to get this show on the road or what, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can't wait.
All right, brother. Well, I know we're on the eve of Alele Blue
Yeah,
match day 2 against Iraq.
yeah.
How you feeling on the eve of that match?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. Yeah, I was at the Rocky Steps earlier today. Um, Sent you and the guys all sorts of videos about that, with me being there, and um, it got me fired up. It got me amped, and um, you know, shout out to the Iraqis, man. They're showing up. There's a good amount. A lot of people, came in from Michigan, also from Jersey. I even heard upstate New York. So, there's they're coming. They're coming. Bit of a mixed bag. I think you got people saying that don't sleep on us. Which I mean, it's your team. What are you gonna say? And then some other people just messing around with me, saying that Killian doesn't have to play, Cherky doesn't have to play, stuff like that. It's an opportunity to rest guys and whatnot. Um, and that's the furthest from the truth. Um, but no, I was messing with this guy. He listed a bunch of guys that shouldn't play tomorrow, and then I was like, "Can Elise play at least? Like, can you give me someone?" You know. But yeah, it was that was cool, and again, just shouting "Alele Blue" from the top of my lungs, and all the other chants from the top of my lungs. We went at it for like an hour. I was sweating like crazy, bro. God. Um, but that was so fun, man. Oh my God. And I made it on L'Equipe Instagram page. They posted about the Les Bleus showing up and showing out at the Rocky Steps, and I was in the heart of it all on those steps. And I'm on that Instagram page, baby. So come
Hey, there
on.
you go. You
There you
blowing up,
go.
man. There you
Yes,
go.
sir.
Hey, there you go, man. You know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Shit, maybe they're gonna do a feature piece on you pretty soon. It's gonna be inside the stardom of Malik, Alele Blues #1 supporter or some shit like that. It'll be you in the thick of the thing, as like the picture in the thumbnail of that. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool, man.
Yeah, yeah, no, and what's gonna be great tomorrow is I will be at the supporters section, because what I did was when applications were open, I got a code from FFF to do a France supporters application. So I applied for the games, of course, and I got this one from that, and then from the other application, the other games. So I will be right there, man, right there at the supporters section. So it will be. If and while MetLife was amazing, I was not at the supporter section. So with this one, I was at the Rocky Steps today, and then I'll be at the supporter section tomorrow. So um, it adds a whole new element and level, without a doubt.
Oh man, yeah, I didn't know that. It's gonna be. Yeah, I always wondered how you sit in the supporter section.
Yeah.
So, dude, that's gonna be awesome, man. I can't wait to hear all about that tomorrow. We'll have to try to line it up and come on here tomorrow, and you'll have to, let the people know what that was like being in the supporter section.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm a little concerned because of the weather, bro. Apparently, it's gonna rain starting tomorrow afternoon, like
Mm.
around 4. They're projecting. So hopefully there's, no thunderstorms or anything like that. But yeah, it's gonna out of nowhere, bro. It's going to, after having such a beautiful week of weather out in New York, there's rain coming. So I don't know how I feel about that, but it'll be interesting.
Okay. Well, hopefully no thunderstorms. Hopefully, hopefully it doesn't rain, or if it does, it's not too bad. But you
Yeah,
never know. Might make that atmosphere more rowdy too. You never know.
I think so, bro. And the thing is, it's like, dude, how like what am I supposed to do, because it is gonna rain, but it's also gonna be still like high 70s and humid. So it's like, how does one
How do you
dress
dress
for
for
that?
that?
Yeah. But
Well,
you already know what I'm pulling up in, man. I got my Killian 2024 Euro kit, along with the shorts to match. So,
hey, rain or shine, rain.
that's what's happening. Yeah, bro, it's supposed to be 80 degrees and humid, so while it's raining. So
Hey, that humid rain is a different beast, man.
I know, bro. I know. I know.
Well, you have to report back not only on the weather, but how that affects the supporters, and then how it impacts the match, because that can play a big factor in any match too, is the weather, right?
Yeah, absolutely, dude. That ball's gonna be running all slippery and all over the place.
But you're feeling pretty confident about things heading into the Iraq match. It seems like.
100%, 100%. After seeing what Erling was able to do against their back line, I'm just as confident that Killian can do that. Olise can do that. So I definitely feel good about it. But you have to score early against opposition like this, um, to force them to open up, and try to attack more. So that's definitely the key. So you can't have that same first half, and I think they learned, man. I think they woke up from that. So to have that wake up call against Senegal, and then to have that second half that they did, I don't foresee, an Iraq side that will be able to do that, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well, let me ask you something. How do you feel about the other match in that group with Iraq and Iraq, Senegal and Norway?
Dude, that will be something. Like I said, when recapping match day one for Group I, Norway is going to face a desperate and hungry Senegal side that knows that know that they need 3 points. They will feel like they got they will think that they should have gotten something from Les Bleus, for sure, without a doubt, and the way that things transpired in the first half. I'm sure they did a lot of finishing drills, because in that first half there were two opportunities that definitely could have gone their way, for sure. So, and they know that they need 3 points against Norway, because that can set up them finishing second. If for match day three when they play Iraq, and then Norway and France will be a heavyweight battle for match day three. So they know the assignment, and I think they will respond and be ready. I think Norway also, they got that pressure off of their back of winning a World Cup game, right, with the expectations that were set forth on them. Um, but keep an eye out on the Holland and Koulibaly matchup. I worry a little bit about that, but I also think that this Norwegian defense will get tested a lot more from the Senegal attack.
Okay. Well, we've been looking ahead a little bit to tomorrow. We'll kind of ping pong, because I know there's uh, Argentina and Austria, and then Jordan, Algeria tomorrow as well. But before we get there, I also want to get your thoughts on Tunisia, Japan last night, and then the four matches that we had earlier today, um, with two more groups having their match day two extravaganzas.
Yeah, yeah. Japan Tunis, I fell asleep at like minute 75, dude. I was woozy. I was in and out. And at that point I believe it was 2-0. So but it went as expected, dude. You know, I think I've said it before that, you know, this Tunisia side is going to struggle. They're put in a pretty brutal group, and um I don't care who you bring in, dude, to for any manager to prepare a day before a game is just that's just a disaster. You know, so um, credit to Japan, they did their thing, and they are level on points with Netherlands for the group. But the problem is, you know, Japan is gonna play Sweden, and the Dutch will play. It essentially it's the Dutch's turn to have a goal extravaganza, which they already did, by the way, against Sweden, of course. Now they matched it, but um, you know, we'll that'll be interesting. Obviously, Japan has the tougher match for MD3. And then the games today, uh, I mean, Spain, Saudi, you know, you knew that Spain would respond after um, tying against Cape Verde, so you knew that was going to happen. Lamine Yamal got his World Cup goal to start. Oyarzabal was excellent, and it just looked like a training game. You know, it looked like a scrimmage out there for Spain. So they did what they had to do. Um, so, you know, not really much there. Um, Uruguay, Cape Verde, a lot more to talk about there with you for sure. Cape Verde's goals were both very bad mistakes by Uruguay. The first goal was from the free kick, and the wall, they had a two-man wall, and then the wall split. So literally, the goal scorer, all he did was I mean, he hit it, bro. He hit it down the middle. So again, if the two-man wall doesn't split, it's blocked. Like I'm 1000% confident that that shot is blocked. They didn't do that. Muslera saw it too late, and credit to him, he had great ball placement, at least, and they got that goal right. Okay, um, Uruguay bounced back very well. They're up 2-1 at that point, dude. You should see the result out. But what happens instead? Bro, I don't know what kind of, I mean, I don't know what the thought process was for that pass back, but absolute disaster. And why is Muslera coming off his line like that? That makes no sense. Because you had the other center back there, dude. I mean, at the very least, um, see what transpires there, and then if the Cape Verde attacker is by himself, then of course, yeah, you have to make the run. But I think Muslera did that run way too early, bro. And these are two gimme goals, bro. In all honesty with you, so you're Uruguay, bro. You already you drew twice against the easier opponents, and you know I'm sure. Usually you don't see these type of mistakes from Marcelo Bielsa teams. Usually when they concede, it's because they have so many guys up front, and then the opponent breaks down their lines of press, right? So that was very surprising. And you know, man, everybody spoke so highly of CONMEBOL, right, ahead of the World Cup, and how a lot of these teams would make a lot of noise. And then what's transpired instead? Bolivia got eliminated by Iraq. Ecuador have a point. Uruguay have 2 points against, um, on paper, inferior teams. Um, and really, it's just Colombia and Argentina right now that are holding it down. So CONMEBOL has been very disappointing. Paraguay, of course, did bounce back, but um, so they got that part done against a Turkey side that many people rated so highly, which we talked about last night. But yeah, man, CONMEBOL is struggling, and you know it's time to give more love to these African sides. They are not. it's not gimme games, bro. It really isn't. So that is that's big time. To see all these AFCON teams qualify for the first time and the first time in a long time, and they're playing these teams tough. Um, I covered those, and Iran Belgium is for you to cover because my good man, you were at the game. So fill me in. Uh, I know that you were mentioning it to me pre-game that you had a similar sentiment and thought about, people getting up all the time, every 5 minutes. I mean, yeah, dude, it's
It
but
worked out though. It worked out. It worked
yeah,
out.
yeah,
It worked out. Funny enough, because yes, because you had mentioned when you were talking about France and Iraq, you'd mentioned how if people stand up sometimes, either you have to get up and block the person behind you's view, or
right,
you
right,
have
right,
to
right.
not block their view, and then you just have to watch something. But and it worked out because it was more pregame where that was happening, and then uh, yeah, it was this lady that was sitting in the seat to my right in front, so, like, one seat over in front, and she was standing up during, like, the lineup introductions and all that sorta deal, and I when she was standing up, she would be blocking half the pitch, so I thought, "Well, shit, man, I mean, if she's gonna be doing this throughout the match, I mean, GG's, man, I'm gonna watch this on the big screen and call it a day," but, within, like, the first 2 minutes, there was this girl that was sitting next to me, and I think she came with her boyfriend and, like, another couple or something like that, and she actually asked the lady to sit down,
Yeah,
so credit to her, I guess, so that actually worked out, but, all in all, I mean, that was a great experience, man. I could probably talk about it further in depth in the coming, it definitely was a humbling experience, and it was fun to be a part of it. Um, Actually, was watching it on TV after the fact to kind of fill in the gaps as well of like, you see certain things in person that you don't see on TV, and then
right.
you see some things on TV that you don't see in person. Um, but just as far as the match itself, I mean, man, I mean, it was a huge result for them to be able to get a draw out of that, and, I know, against New Zealand, obviously, selfishly, you would've wanted 3 points, but at least, they battled back from a goal down twice, and they got the draw. By the way, in case you couldn't tell why my voice is completely shot, that was my voice was already kinda going a little bit before the match. Because it's been one of those weekends, man. I've been pinballing around, running, place to place. It's been one of
Yeah,
those weekends, and then, but then, yeah, dude, 90 minutes of being a menace, in person like that, it was worth the man. It was fun. I think as far as the on the pitch stuff, though, yeah, I think, Belgium not having Jeremy Doku, you could definitely sense that they missed having, but even with or without him, I mean, yeah, it's the same story with Belgium over the years. Even when these guys were younger, there was always, the golden generation, if you will. Like, Belgium dominated the ball the majority of the match. Credit to him. Like, Ali was a better Vaughan. I mean, he was
yeah,
the man. He was the Michelob Ultra man of the match right there.
yeah,
No free ads, baby. But I mean, he made some incredible saves.
yeah.
Um, that offsides on the set piece from Iran when Tartami scored was really tough, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
dude. Yeah, yeah.
I
I
mean,
saw
like
that,
his ass cheeks were like half an inch
I
offside.
literally you took the words from my mouth, bro. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Like that's one of those things with like, the modern day technology where they can get that shit down to the millimeter, like, to the naked eye, I mean, it looked clean as hell, but then, you go in and you have like the little animation animatronic
Yeah.
thing that they show. It's like half his back is offsides. Um, they were saying something on the broadcast, which I only watched after the fact, and I think you guys were texting about it, something about having to be like a meter off the ball or something like that. I don't know what the hell. I've never heard of that before. Um,
No, I'm not familiar. No, I don't.
but either
I didn't
way, I
watch
mean,
the broadcast.
yeah, I don't know. Either way, yeah, I mean that offsides was as close as you could get. Um, they had probably two other chances that they could have scored, and Courtois made a couple of nice saves.
Well, I
The
know
red card,
Tarevi's too, right? And I'm including the offside within that
yeah,
one.
he had one other pretty good chance.
Yeah, yeah. What was the
In
other
this,
one?
there was one in the first half
Okay.
before Taremi was offsides. I forget who it was that had a shot on target, but it was a pretty good save by Courtois. But I mean, all in all, they didn't really have much of the ball. Even when ironically, when Belgium went down to 10 men, uh,
Yeah,
Iran had a little bit more of the ball for maybe the first like
yeah.
10, 15 minutes of that. But then by the end of the match, Belgium actually were more of a threat to win the match than Iran was, even with 10 men.
Right.
Uh, and, we've talked about it a lot with 10 behind the ball. I mean, the Iran were defending their. I mean, they put everything into putting in a defensive shift. I mean, I think at halftime, possession was 81-19 in favor of Belgium, and Iran completed like 50 something passes in the entire half, dude. Like,
Right, right.
Belgium were dominating the ball, but Iran knew exactly what the game plan was. It was, we're gonna make sure that they don't score.
Right.
And now, they gave themselves a chance heading into match day 3 against Egypt, who we'll talk about in just a second. Um, couldn't be prouder, man. Couldn't be prouder of the effort they put in. Uh, I think all things considered, given everything we've talked about with the circumstances that they've had to deal with,
Yeah.
um, just having a chance to move on to the knockout stages, and you don't want to get ahead of yourselves, but to make it to the first, even if it's an expanded knockout stage, to be able to make it to a knockout stage for the first time would be great. And I don't know if you saw this or not, but the starting 11 of Iran today was the oldest
Yeah,
average
ever.
starting 11 in the history of the World Cup.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and I think when you're dealing with all of those circumstances that we can continue to talk about, like, what do you lean on? You lean on experience,
Right.
uh, and the guys that have been there, like Ali Reza Vaughn, like, some people might think that, like, this is the first great match he's ever had in his life, but,
Nope. Yeah.
this was a guy, even 2018, who had two of the best performances of the World Cup, especially,
Saved the
uh
penalty from CR7. Yeah.
yeah, 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 gave him a chance to win, um, against Portugal, uh,
And
you know,
Spain, bro. You had a
and
chance
Spain.
against
Yeah,
Spain.
he was
Yeah.
great against both. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, so a lot of these guys have experience. Taremi, you mentioned. You go down the list. These guys have been around the block. Even
Yeah.
the Suns. They've got one of the old. I think if it's not the oldest team at the tournament, I think they're like second or third. But yeah, the oldest starting 11 in the history of the World Cup, and it was really it's great seeing these guys that have been together for many cycles now. And, oftentimes in sports, it's always about like the new shiny toy and like the prospects and the up and coming generations. But, it was cool to see these guys and I think they mentioned it in the, in the post game where, you know, uh, part of all these off the pitch circumstances that they're having to deal with are bringing them together and making them
Yeah.
play harder for each other. And I couldn't be more, dude. I couldn't be more excited for match day 3. I mean, These first two matches have been a joy to watch. I mean, just being able to get 2 points out of that, and have them both be, locally here at SoFi, to be able to experience this. I mean, we'll talk about it further in, throughout the coming days. But all in all, man, I give those guys nothing but credit. They did what they had to do. Um, with it, I think a draw. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better result, to be honest with you. If you would have told me before the match it's going to be 0-0 and they're going to get a point, I would have taken it. And uh, now it just comes down to Egypt, which I don't know. Did you watch Egypt, New Zealand?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Man, I know, this group. I know a lot of people are saying that this is the worst group at the World Cup, and it's probably. I mean, 1 through 4 obviously is up for grabs. Anything can happen on match day 3.
Yeah.
Uh, but I had a feeling heading into the group that for Iran, Egypt was going to be the toughest. But I think through 2 matches, Egypt looked the best for
Yeah.
sure. What they did to New Zealand in the second half was brilliant.
Yeah.
They really took it to them. They dominated the second half of that match.
Yeah.
Um, I'm interested to see how Iran set up in that match. Do they set up similarly to how they did against Belgium and just kind of take your chances on the counter when you get them and hang on for dear life and maybe or do you try to go for it a little bit and try to take the 3 points? I'm not really sure what they're going to try and do. I'd imagine the answer is probably somewhere in the middle of that. But man, that's going to be a nerve wracking 90 minutes to 2 hours. Um, because that group's up for grabs. It could go any way, 1 through 4. But
Yeah.
through 2 match days, I'd say Egypt have been the most impressive. And then, I'm obviously biased, but I think what Iran's been able to do has been incredibly impressive as well. You know, keep,
Absolutely.
so I don't want to sound too biased or anything, but just as objectively speaking as I can, I think regardless of whether Iran makes it out of the group or not, or wherever they finish 1 through 4, these guys have nothing to hang their heads about. They put in an incredible effort. They defended their asses off today, dude. Like when you mentioned Cape Verde, like they defended their asses off against Spain,
Yeah.
and Iran. These guys were throwing their bodies on the line. I mean,
Yeah.
part of the reason, like I mentioned, Belgium had 10 men from I think it was like the 66th minute onwards, and once it got to around the 80th minute, Iran kind of had more of the ball for about 10 minutes, but I mean, dude, Iran was gassed, man. Those guys
Yeah,
put
they
in,
were guys. Yeah. Yeah.
they put in so much effort defensively, that they had, even though they had the man advantage, you would just, the thought was, man, they just gotta get to the end of the match.
Yeah.
And now they've given themselves a chance against Egypt, so we'll see what happens. But and then what you mentioned, Cape Verde, man, shout out to them. Obviously, not only the result against Spain, but for them to follow that up with the 2-2 draw against Uruguay. Um, Outstanding result. And then, yeah, dude, Spain was like, I mean, dude, it might as well have been like an open practice friendly against Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and then Uruguay, man, Uruguay's in a position where they might not make it out of the group, man.
Yeah, I know, dude. I know because Cape Verde they're more than capable of beating Saudi, dude.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they are
And
more
then,
than
and then
capable of
even
getting the full
Uruguay,
three
you're at two
points.
points. If Uruguay don't get a result, they're going to be stuck on 2 points. So even if
Yeah.
they finish third, that's going to be tough to be one of those 8 third
Yeah.
place sides, 2 points.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're going to need something out of that Spain match. And, Spain's going to be going for the 3 points to top the group.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uruguay's
For
in some
sure.
trouble, man, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
interested. I'm interested in that Cape Verde Saudi Arabia match though, because
Same.
either one of those two teams are thinking, man, 3 points, we're going through, baby.
Yeah. 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 Certainly. And just speaking about Iran, Egypt. Well, first of all, with Egypt, New Zealand. Uh, I mean, Mo Salah went vintage, you know,
Yeah,
and put the team on his back, goal and assist. The assist was off of the corner kick. But Salah's goal today, bro, that was like genuinely when I saw that happen, it made me think of of the Klopp days at Liverpool because that's exactly how he would score most of his goals, bro. A
yeah.
quick
I mean,
1-2, going cutting on the left, cutting on the right, shooting with his left. I mean that's just
oh, dude,
that was vintage Mo
man,
Salah.
Egypt's gonna, dude. I'm gonna need a pacemaker by the end of that match on match day 3, man.
But I think you can definitely go for it a little bit more because defensively I still worry about them a little bit for sure. So it
Yeah,
doesn't
I
have to
think
be the
I think
same.
Iran put everything into getting a draw here because I think
Yes. Yeah.
Iran always knew that they were gonna throw it all in there on match day 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so I think Iran will go for it match day 3. They'll have their chances. The big thing is against New Zealand, they concede 2,
Yeah.
and, the spirit of Carlos Queiroz was living well today, baby. I mean, they made
Right.
him proud.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, they had everybody and their mother behind the ball, I mean, they had really nothing going forward. They had a couple of chances, obviously. We mentioned the Taremi goal that was disallowed. Um, but yeah, could be prouder of the result. Just giving everything, giving themselves a chance heading into match day 3. If you would have told me, I would have taken it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, did you mention Mohamed Salah, man? I mean, vintage. He looked, he still got some juice, man, especially in a World Cup where, the matches are a little bit more spread out
Yeah.
and obviously putting the Egypt shirt on in a World Cup for him for the first time. But dude, those other guys are pretty solid too, man.
Yeah. Zico, Trezeguet, Marmoush, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys
Certainly.
are good, man. I mean, dude, and you know what? They got the atmosphere too in those two against Belgium and against New Zealand. They had a really good turnout both
Yeah.
matches. So I'll be interested to see the split in Seattle between Egypt and Iran. Because those have been, in both of the Iran matches, they've had the majority of the support, and then for Egypt, they've had the majority of the support. So I'll be interested to see where that kind of lines up. I'll talk a lot more about the match in future days. But the one thing that I don't know how it was for you at France Senegal and how it'll be tomorrow, but were there a lot of people that were just in other jerseys and they were just kind of there for the vibes of being at a World Cup match?
I saw a few. I saw a few. I didn't see a whole lot of other jerseys.
Okay.
I saw a few of that, and then also just locals who were like, "All right, I mean, hey, the game is in my backyard. Apparently, this is gonna be a great game. Like, let's go check this out. You know what I mean?"
Okay. Awesome, man. So before we wrap this up, we talked about Alele Blue and that group. What are you thinking about tomorrow's matches in the other group with Argentina, Austria, and then Algeria, Jordan?
Yeah, with Argentina, Austria, um, will Austria be able to test Argentina more? I think so. Um, Ralph Ragnick is going to come up with an excellent plan, but I still envision an Argentina win for sure. Um, but it won't be as lopsided, without a doubt. You're Algeria, you know the assignment, dude. While I mentioned that, they got the hardest team on paper out the way. You have to get all 3 points against Jordan, which is going to be a tough game. I think it's definitely going to be fairly even because honestly, just the way that I saw Algeria in attack was just aside from that disallowed goal was pretty shaky. Um, and can Ibrahim Meza produce more? I think so against that Jordanian team. Um, and will Riyad Mahrez start? Uh, I think Rayan Ait Nouri can have a lot more success, and he won't be as punished for not defending and tracking back in comparison to the Argentina game. If you're Austria, you know the assignment, you know what to do, so they will make it difficult for them. But I think somebody else, you just don't want Leo to beat you. So I think somebody else will step up to the occasion. And maybe Austria will get a goal. Just with my thoughts and opinions on the Argentine backline.
All right. I love it, man. Can't wait to come back and chop it up. Hopefully in the next 24 hours and recap tomorrow's action, especially Alele Blue. Can't wait to hear what it's like with you in the supporter section, man.
Yeah, yeah, appreciate that. Let me drop a score prediction for you on here
Yes,
before we
yes.
sign
Put a bow
off.
on this. Put a bow on this for us.
All right. Uh, Give me a 5-0 win. Olise will get on the score sheet. He'll get two. I think Usman Dembele scores one, and I think Kylian bags another brace.
All right. Your lips to the Alele Blue sports gods above, man.
Habibi. All right,
Habibi.
bro.
Hey man, take care of yourself. I appreciate you taking the time to stay up a little late night and chop it up on the eve of a big match for you. Can't wait to come in here tomorrow and hear all about it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Get some rest. All right, get some rest. Sleep well.
You too, man. You too, man. We're gonna. I don't know how my voice sounded, but you know what? We're gonna keep chugging along regardless. Fucking baby, we ride. We ride to the end. Love you, brother.
Love you more. Peace.
Cheers, man. Ale.
Ale.